Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing some project life and I'm catching up on 2020 because I was quite far behind. And if you've seen any of my other project life videos, you'll know that I'm trying to catch up, and this time I'm finishing it. So I was up to July, so in this video I'm tackling August to December, and I've put it all into one video, and these threads took around about 20 minutes each. I know that the December one was a little bit quicker and only took 15, and I think it was the October one that took 25, but around about 20 minutes each. And they're not completely finished. I do need to go back in and do some annotation and finish some journaling, but overall I'm really happy that it's done. In terms of my full 2020 scrapbook, it's nowhere near complete. I still have quite a lot of 12 by 12 layouts to do. So if you've not been on my channel before, then what I usually do in my scrapbook is a mix of 12 by 12 and project life. So usually I'll scrapbook the events, so birthdays and family occasions and things like that, or holidays as 12 by 12s, and I intersperse those in between my project life layouts, which document my monthly day-to-day. So what you'll see in all of the layouts that I'm doing today is I start with all my photos printed off, and I use Photoshop for that, and I resize them to either 3 by 4 or I will size them around about 2 inches square. And I've done that in my project life for all of my spreads since I started, and I just find doing some of them square really helps to add more on the page. Because I do it monthly, I usually have quite a lot to show, and doing them all as 3 by 4s means that I wouldn't be able to fit as much on, so a lot of the times I usually do the square ones and put multiple on one of the project life cards. Because I use quite a lot of photos, it does mean that I don't often use a lot of cards that are just decorative, so I'll usually use pattern ones for backgrounds on the photos, and then I usually have one card at least on the whole layout where I journal what happened that month, and it's usually just a roundup. This isn't really a diary style, it's just a overview of my month, and as I said, I've been doing this for quite a few years now, and so it's just a nice way to document the bigger memories. I just really enjoy flicking through my scrapbooks, and I don't need to see like all the details of each month. I just quite like having this overview, and yeah, it's a really nice place to just have my photos so they're not on the computer, and I definitely can't see myself stopping anytime soon. I used to do them monthly, so I used to get my project life done just at the end of the month, but I haven't done that in quite a few years, and I feel like I'm always playing catch up. So for 2021 I haven't done any. I've literally only just finished 2020, and ideally I would like to get back into that. I think it would help keep the memories a bit more current, because obviously I'm trying to remember what happened that month, and I do lose some of the details when I'm trying to do my journaling from the past. And like I said, I don't often have that much journaling in these threads, so it's generally just a really basic overview without going into too much detail. This is September, I think. It was definitely this one that I had the most, that I struggled with the most with the colours, because there wasn't really anything that I could pick out from the photos. It was very blue themed, but I didn't want to add more blue to the page. In the end I went for this like vintagey creamy theme with pops of pink, and I think the top left card works with the sand, and it's not like too overpowering. One of the things I try to do when I'm doing my monthly spreads is I don't like to mix the cream cards with the white cards. So I've got quite a lot of cards which are either cream based or white based, and I usually try and stick to one or the other. I have a lot of project life cards, and you'll have seen at the beginning I keep them all in like a desk organizer, and that really helps so I'm not like totally overwhelmed, because I still have a couple of boxes that are quite full of the collections. So it just helps me to look through the ones I need. They're not in any colour order or anything like that, but I don't mind that because I never really know what I'm looking for until I find it. I really like what I added here on the right, so I stamped that image and added that onto that extra little card, and that brings in the blue and adds a bit more contrast to the spread. You'll notice throughout I use that little bowl of things, and that just lives on my desk. It's got loads of tiny little bits that would get lost otherwise. So loads of little cutout ephemera, some little wooden things, and then like when I've done stamping and fussy cut them out, I'll add that to the bowl, and I use that to add decoration to my spreads. In general, on my Project Life spreads, and especially whilst I'm catching up and trying to just get through it, they're very basic, they're not very decorated. I don't use stamping or sewing or any extra elements like I often do on my 12x12s. These are pretty basic in terms of scrapbooking, so I was a little bit worried with this video that it would be like a bit boring, because generally I use the same sort of rules for all of them. So I always put my title in the top left corner using some letter stickers, and then I'll use the layout of the 3x4 photos and the smaller ones, and I usually put those on a card, and then add one card which is for journaling. So like at the bottom now I'm using some smaller letter stickers and some wooden ones just to write like a subtitle about the month. And so yeah, most of the embellishments that I add are very basic, but I always try and like keep a colour theme, keep it quite simple, but it's mostly the photos that tell the story, and the journaling just adds a little bit of context, so hopefully it's enjoyable anyway. I definitely want to do some more scrapbooking because, like I said, I've still got 2020 to do, and I haven't even touched Japan. So obviously I've got my little Japan travel journal, which I see as a totally separate thing. I'd still like to put a lot of the bigger photos and like special DSLR photos that I took into my scrapbook. The daily journal really is just documenting each day using my iPhone snaps. But I definitely want to do some bigger layouts with those nicer photos. And that's quite a big project, so I'm a little bit overwhelmed with it. There's going to be a lot of photos, so I don't know whether to keep it in this album or create a whole new one. I'm not quite sure yet, but mostly I just want to get the 2020 done, not including Japan. And there's still some from 2019 I need to finish, like I've got the basics. I don't need to print photos or anything, but I do need to add on all the details. So I just need to have like a day where I go through all that, and I think that would be quite enjoyable, just to have a day where I do my scrapbooking. I definitely have to be in the right mood for scrapbooking 12x12s. Project Life layouts definitely feel a bit easier for me, and they don't take as much brain power or creativity, because obviously it's mostly just photos and picking out colours. So like for this one, I used the oranges, and definitely as we go into November and December I try and pick more autumnal themed colours, and then lighter ones in the summer months, which I think you can tell as I go through the album, and it was the same last year as well. I definitely gravitated towards the darker colours towards the end of the year. So we're on to December now, and I had this cute mustard coloured card. That was a cut apart from one of the bigger 12x12 sheets, and it just had this cute little snowman in it, which obviously I wanted to use in December, and that's really what drew me into the colour scheme for this layout. If there isn't an obvious colour scheme in the photos, then I'll pick a journaling card and go from there. But I do like how the yellow ties in with like some of the food and some of the colours from the other photos. So I'm using the yellow as the base, so I add a yellow journaling card into the bottom right, and then again go through my little bowl and add that yellow heart and the reindeer, which was from a Sticky Club kit, some little lettering for New Year down the bottom, and then I also look through my thickers and letter stash for some plain black ones to go in the top left just to mark out December. You'll also notice I always use design A for my layout pages, and then because I generally stick to all portrait 3x4s, I just use washi tape on the 6x4 pockets just to keep them together. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know that I haven't done scrapbooking in a little while on my channel, and I have a lot of creative hobbies, so I know I'm flicking between journaling and painting and sketchbooking, so hopefully you're interested in this too. I'd love to hear what you think if you do Project Life or if you do scrapbooking and want to see more content on my channel. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you next week with another one. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you later.